The Haunted Castle on the Hill. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled among rolling hills, there stood a mysterious castle. It was dark and forbidding, its towers reaching up towards the sky like gnarled fingers. The villagers whispered tales of its haunting past, of ghosts and monsters that roamed its halls at night. One day, a young girl named Ella decided to explore the castle. She had always been fascinated by its dark secrets, and she was determined to uncover the truth. She gathered her courage and set off up the hill, towards the castle gates, ****. As Ella approached the castle, she felt a chill run down her spine. The air around it seemed to grow colder, and the shadows danced on the walls. She took a deep breath and pushed open the gates. The castle courtyard was overgrown with weeds and wildflowers. A fountain stood in the center, its water still and silent. Ella walked through the courtyard and entered the castle itself. The inside of the castle was just as dark and gloomy as the outside. The walls were lined with dusty portraits of long-dead ancestors. The floors creaked beneath Ella's feet as she explored the empty rooms. Suddenly, Ella heard a noise behind her. She turned around, but there was no one there. She continued on her way, but the feeling of being watched persisted. Ella came to a large hall at the end of the corridor. In the center of the hall was a grand staircase that led up to a tower. Ella decided to climb the stairs to see what was at the top. As she climbed, Ella heard the noise again. This time, it was louder and closer. She reached the top of the stairs and found herself in a small room. In the center of the room was a mirror. Ella approached the mirror and looked at her reflection. But it wasn't her reflection that she saw. It was the face of a ghost, a pale and gaunt woman with hollow eyes. The ghost opened its mouth and spoke. "Welcome, Ella," it said. "I have been waiting for you." Ella gasped in fear. She tried to turn away, but the ghost reached out and grabbed her arm. "You cannot leave," the ghost said. "You belong to me now." Ella struggled to free herself, but the ghost's grip was too strong. She began to scream for help, but no one could hear her. The ghost dragged Ella towards the mirror. Ella looked into the mirror and saw her own reflection again. But this time, her eyes were empty and her face was pale. She was being transformed into a ghost. Ella screamed again, but it was too late. She was sucked into the mirror, and the door to the tower slammed shut. The ghost stood in front of the mirror and smiled. She had finally captured the girl she had been waiting for. Ella was trapped in the mirror world, a place where ghosts roamed and nightmares came to life. She tried to escape, but the ghost was always there, watching her. One day, Ella met a group of other ghosts who had been trapped in the mirror world. They told her that the only way to escape was to find the Mirror of Truth. The Mirror of Truth was a magical mirror that could show the true nature of things. Ella and the other ghosts set out on a quest to find the Mirror of Truth. They traveled through the mirror world, facing many dangers along the way. They encountered ghosts of all shapes and sizes, some friendly and some not so friendly. Finally, after many days of searching, Ella and the other ghosts found the Mirror of Truth. They stood in front of the mirror and looked at their reflections. Ella saw her true self in the mirror. She was brave and kind, and she had a strong heart. She knew that she could defeat the ghost and escape the mirror world. The other ghosts saw their true selves in the mirror as well. They realized that they were not alone, and that they could work together to defeat the ghost. Ella and the other ghosts turned to face the ghost. They were no longer afraid. They knew that they were stronger together. The ghost attacked, but Ella and the other ghosts were ready for it. They fought back, using their newfound strength and courage. After a long and difficult battle, Ella and the other ghosts defeated the ghost. The ghost disappeared, and the mirror world was freed from its evil grasp. Ella and the other ghosts returned to the real world. They were grateful to be free, and they vowed to never forget the lessons they had learned in the mirror world ***. Ella returned to her village, but she was no longer the same girl. She had seen the dark side of the world, and she had learned that courage and kindness are the most powerful weapons of all. Ella used her experiences in the mirror world to help others. She told stories of the ghosts she had met, and she taught the villagers about the importance of courage and kindness. The villagers learned to respect Ella, and they no longer feared the haunted castle on the hill. They knew that Ella was a brave and kind girl who would always be there to help them. One day, Ella was walking through the village when she saw a group of children playing near the castle. She stopped to watch them, and she smiled. She knew that the castle was no longer a place to be feared. It was a place where magic and hope lived. Ella continued on her way, feeling grateful for the lessons she had learned in the mirror world. She knew that she would never forget her adventure, and she knew that she would always be a protector of the castle and its inhabitants. Epilogue. Years passed, and Ella grew up to be a wise and respected woman. She continued to tell stories of the ghosts she had met in the mirror world, and she taught the children of the village about the importance of courage and kindness. One day, Ella was sitting on the porch of her house, watching the sunset. She thought back to her adventure in the mirror world, and she smiled. She knew that she would always be grateful for the lessons she had learned there. Suddenly, Ella saw a familiar figure walking towards her. It was the ghost of the woman she had met in the mirror. The ghost smiled at Ella. "Thank you for freeing me," she said. "I am finally at peace." Ella smiled back. "You're welcome," she said. "I'm glad I could help." The ghost faded away, and Ella watched her go. She knew that the ghost would always be with her in her heart. Ella continued to live a long and happy life. She was loved by all who knew her, and she was always there to help those in need. She was a true hero, and her story is still told to this day. Hi everyone, thank you for watching this story on the World's Nature YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this story, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We will bring you more stories like this in the future. Until then, take care and goodbye.